Hey, what's up, email geeks? We're back to Feedback Friday with our best friends, Camiah.
Hello.
Hello.
What is your name all about? I've always tried to figure it out. Is it like your couple's name? Is it your power name? Your superhero name?
It's our Hollywood name. Cam and Maya equal Camiah.
We meet at the M.
Brangelina. Yeah, we meet at the M.
Nice. You guys are a superpower of email amazingness when you guys come together. So we're looking at an email you made today. So tell me a little bit about this one.
Awesome. So this is for a client we work with called Zumper. They have an app. Maybe Maya can explain what they do in real life.
I think everyone's heard of Zillow, so it's the kind of Zillow's competition, but they focus on rental properties instead of focusing on full house purchases. Yeah, so this is like the rental version of Zillow, I think it's called.
Yeah, well, you guys seem to be really showing off in this one.
So this is their welcome email. And what I really like about what Zumper's been trying to do is they've been trying to intentionally and incrementally upgrade the design and the quality of their code and the messaging in their code. So it's really cool watching them take it so seriously and taking it in small bites. So they're just iterating and making it each step better. So this was their welcome email. We actually went back to their welcome email. We started on some ad hocs, and they had a great designer, and we worked with the designer to let them know the ins and outs of best email practices and the little progressive enhancements we could put in and stuff, and they really worked with us, so this was great.
Did you guys have an existing welcome email kind of already set up that they gave you to work off of, or did you guys start from scratch?
They had a welcome email running for a long time, and then they redesigned this. And yes, we were able to utilize their liquid logic for some of their dynamic portions from their existing welcome, but they had developed even more logic especially for the middle section that shows off the different properties. So we were able to upgrade it a little bit that way as well, along with just putting in better looking code, better looking dynamic pieces, and then all those little progressive touches that make it look so clean and concise.
Yeah, I know you guys are like AMP script masters. So is this a lot of AMP scripting, or was this a different ESP that they use? Or
yeah, this was actually for Blue Shift, so they use liquid logic. And,
okay, gotcha.
And it is very similar to AMP script in a way. We're more comfortable with AMP script, and we like that a little bit better, but we were able to work within this to make a lot of dynamic things come into play.
So let's just start with this top section up here. Like, what's all going on in this section? Is there any I see an image background?
Yeah.
The mobile looks really good. You're using live text, that personalization.
At the top up there, we actually had a discussion with them if they wanted to utilize VML for the background image, or if they were cool with doing the background image as a progressive enhancement. And because the emails get a little long sometimes with all the dynamic stuff, they chose to use the background image as a progressive enhancement. So on Outlook, the background image doesn't show up, and everywhere else it works, it shows up. And the design looks good no matter what. It's overlaid with the live text, and it's pulling in the first name. Below it, they've done a standard image saved out as a PNG, so you see the drop shadows behind it, but it's an image.
It looks really good. I almost hope you guys didn't do it, because that's so advanced. I think sometimes you could do this, but it would just be a lot of work. So I think this is all right for me.
Yeah, I think sometimes putting the work into an element is worth it, and sometimes it's better to keep it simple. And in their case, particularly for that top section, we wanted to keep the code lighter. Yeah, it worked out nicely with a PNG.
With Zumper, they did want to utilize hybrid coding, so it was our first real dive into hybrid, so actually doing it for a client. So we actually got to work through, find our way of doing hybrid and really kill it on their email. So every email we build for them is hybrid.
That was really interesting. Most of the time we've been doing responsive because you can really control a lot of what happens when you go to mobile, and we really like that level of control. So like Maya said, finding our best way of doing hybrid was really nice.
Yeah, well, the mobile looks great. Even this section here seems like a very mobile-first design too, with these sort of card, tab sort of features here. Yeah, I really dig that.
They were really thoughtful with that section. It looks good.
And they always come to us when they do design a new email and they ask us, is this going to work for really well? What's your feedback of, what needs to change so this will work in the way that we are coding our email? So they're always really open. They're always down to adjust as needed. So there's not really a pushback on either side. It's really a collaborative experience, and the emails really, they're designed so we can build them very well.
I like this full width. I know like some people don't like how big it is on desktop, but I actually really like this. Like even if this was maybe like a bottom navigation looking section, I think that would also work pretty well.
Yeah, it's like really usable. And like Maya said, that conversations we're able to have with them because they're so open, it means that sometimes something can happen, but it will take a lot of time. So we work together with them to decide, is this really worth it to put the time into and stuff like that. And then in that way, we're able to decide better dev ideas going forward.
So for this section, are these kind of data points that they give you ahead of time, or like that you knew you had, or is this something that maybe you threw in a mock-up and said like, hey, we want to add these data points in?
Oh, they definitely came prepared with what data they wanted to pull in, and they use elements like that in some of their other emails, so we were already mentally prepared for putting that section in and the pros and cons for everything. A lot of the issues with coding a section like this come from non-standard image sizes. And so that can be really challenging to work with a designer and explain that to them and have them solve for the data. In this case, it's an image that's coming through as the data. So working with the data and the realities of what those image sizes are going to be.
I would almost like say that this would have to be standard, but you guys, really took this section, especially on desktop. I think mobile was probably a little easier with some of those, but those variable widths and heights, I guess, would be something, I guess.
Yeah, that is. And it can be frustrating for a designer because we can't really line everything up, and we tried very, very hard to figure out the best way to do an overflow hidden for those. On some email clients, even with the overflow hidden, I think there was one that what it did was put the text over the top of where it was starting to hide. So the 4,000 would be overlaid over the image itself. So it's like it really took the usability away on that one email client, so they decided it wouldn't be worth it.
I do like that these are all live text. I feel like some people might try to solve this with like a vendor where they overlay this on top or something, but I think keeping it live and is a really good solution as well.
I think it's a really good solution. And if you're able to work with your designers closely, you can come up with some pretty cool solutions once you know the real parameters of the problem.
I think even something small like changing up the styling on these sections makes it a lot more readable rather than just like, reading out a line of, pre-filled code or something like that.
And then it loads quickly because it's really live text and then small images.
I feel like I've seen some like Pinterest tags or something like this. This looks really nice.
Yeah, and then if they're added in, they're all side-by-side tables that'll all stack, so they're actually naturally flowing and breaking down when it goes to mobile or when there's more or less items being added or left off.
So are these like, is the thought behind these like individual links or something, or is this just kind of go to a page?
I don't think they link out. They were just doing, like you said, providing the data, the information on what you have in your search history, and then they wanted it to flow and fit whatever your parameters are. They wanted to flow and fit in that space and provide you with what your search info is.
Yeah, it's really impressive. That's cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job pulling interesting data into the email.
I mean, it does like feel personalized.
Yeah.
It's almost like overly personalized. Like each section could be for you or something.
Oh yeah, really, like a touch of personalization, but all in a different way.
And I think that's good for the industry they are in, just because sometimes it can be overwhelming with all the options that you do have. So having something like this to where it's limiting you in a way to where, it's like pretty much going to click at least one of these things in the email. So making it simple for you and not having to, go to the website or search forever, it kind of gives you a different way to find what you're trying to find.
And you got this really eye-catching footer right here, and this is super creative. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Yeah, it's a nice little swoop done with a PNG. The drawback of that is always going to be that in some email clients, once it scales down, there can be a hairline fracture because you have to choose a background color for that.
I've addressed that issue a few times in some of the emails I have, but
Yeah. So, that's a little element that I believe is worth it because it looks really good most places. And even if there was a hairline fracture below that of the white showing through, it kind of looks like the white HR that's below the social.
If there isn't a way to fix it, at least you can hack it into a way to where it looks normal.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've had like a gradient once, and it was like a hairline sort of thing, and I was like, I don't know, I just have to guess, put in some sort of color.
Yeah, I mean, you got to work with the realities of email.
Well, all this stuff is really clean too. I wonder if they add any other additional legal text, but I mean, this is a very simple footer, and I like these little touches with the logo and nice social icons.
Yeah, I don't think that's their logo. I think they just have their designers draw San Francisco, because I think that's the second iteration I've used of the bridge. I think they're just trying to make it personal and custom.
Well, yeah, well, it definitely, feels like that. I think there's a lot of like little details in this email that make it really stand out. So anything else that you guys might want to do with this, updating for future? Do they come back to you with any feedback or data or anything like that?
I don't know if I really think that way. I think the way we try to build everything and tackle everything is always very modularly. So if they had a new element or wanted to remove an element or replace it or update it, I would like them to think modularly so we can reuse the elements that still pertain to the brand and pertain to the use of this email, and then remove or add in new ones that make more sense. So I would really love if they thought of it that way, and so we can update, not always have to upgrade.
With this, do you create like a design system from this now, or I know you said you started with some other emails, and this is just the welcome email. So how does this kind of relate to some of the other emails that they're sending?
We do this for everything we work on, but we always start with the previous one and the previous rules and ensure a consistency level from email to email. Maya's particularly good at ensuring that we aren't making moves for no reason for a brand. So generally speaking, we'll keep it consistent unless they say not to. And then if something's really drastic that we're keeping consistent, then we'll have a conversation with them and say, hey, it looks like the footer changed. Do you really want it to change, or is it worth it to change? It makes it look inconsistent, and we'll go from there. And then we'll use that moving forward. So consistency is very important to us. And then I believe that kind of matches in with being its own design system if you keep the elements consistent across multiple items.
Yeah, well, I feel like whenever I see your guys' emails, they always feel very consistent and very camiah branded. I feel like they're always well thought out. How do you get new clients? What's the first step for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, hit us up at email@camiah.com, and we start a conversation and make sure we're a good fit.
Hi, I'm Camille, and I want to code all of your HTML emails.
We're always reliable, and we're really good at communicating, but we do like to be a good fit with folks so that it's easy for them to work with us and us to work with them. And we're always about relationship building, so that communication is key for us.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for jumping on.
Yeah, it was really good talking to you.
Yep. Thank you so much for having us.
Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.
If you have any feedback on the series, please leave a comment down below. Hit subscribe to keep up with future episodes. Thank you for giving a listen and letting our sponsors know you love really good emails.
I'm an email developer, and I want to code all of your emails. I want to make the world a better place through HTML for email. I want to make sure all of your emails are coded so clean you can eat off them. Send your email work my way. Let me code your emails. I want to code your emails. Clean HTML for email for a better world. But for reals, let me code your emails. I like coding emails. I'm good at coding emails. I really do want to code your emails.